Welcome back to Nerdog Podcast, episode 96. And today we're gonna talk about the 2020 slasher movie, The Last Thanksgiving. And I got Blue and Zombie with me here. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. A bit tired, but otherwise I'm on top.
Yeah, I'm pretty alright.
That sounds alright, I guess.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm super tired. I woke up and couldn't, return to sleep for some fucking reason. So I didn't get much sleep today. So
Love it when that happens.
yeah. Well, what can you do? Yes. Have you guys catched anything since we last recorded?
Well, thanks to Blue, I actually did. As
For
the two of you know.
Yeah.
Because the three of us, including you guys' mother, went to the cinema and watched Pray to the Devil.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we can't really go into much detail about it since it's very new, but I thought it was fairly decent. Like, nothing groundbreaking, but it was still like something happened almost all the time, so it didn't feel like it dragged at any point. But at the same time, I felt like it had some points that could refine or like go deeper into, but it did what it came to do, simply put.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as bloody as I would imagined.
Okay. What did you think about it, Blue?
I thought it was pretty alright. Like, it felt a little bit like watching. So like I watch a lot of movies. I've watched a lot of possession movies, but I did actually feel like this was pretty alright. Like if it was, it's nothing I'm gonna run back to watch, but it felt. Let's say like I like nothing is gonna compare to the original Exorcist, but it's like it felt like it was going the right way towards like what that is, rather than the most possession movies where it's like boo-hoo running around absolutely everywhere. This felt very centered on like there's gonna be one place this all is taking place. It's just I thought it was alright. It was a little bit cliche, definitely. But what movie isn't these days? Yeah. I would recommend at least a one-time watch.
Okay.
Like, it felt like it could have easily gone like at the end, where you know what happened. It could very well have ended the same way The Exorcist did. Because that is kind of how it ended, except with stairs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, in The Exorcist, yeah.
yeah. But it felt like, oh yay, the protagonist survived and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it feels like a lot of, not a lot, but some in the more recent horror media, that it ends well for the protagonist with like a feel-good ending, despite all the death.
Oh yeah, you would have rather seen the protagonist die.
Like it would still have been like a good ending, because it would have been like, yay, the evil is vanquished, but not only at the hands of like this nameless NPC that we saw a handful of times, but with the actual like protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
So it would have been a bittersweet ending, I feel like.
Yeah,
Rather
the
than
evil
just-
gets banished, but at a cost.
Yeah, at a more noticeable cost that we can see rather than what they can see.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely agree. Like, a lot of horror movies these days are just like, oh, it's a happy ending. Is sometimes you just want to see someone die that, like,
Yeah.
you've been rooting for the whole movie. It's like,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like this is a good and old trope, I admit. But it feels like if they do a good ending, sometimes they just like to not make it a good ending. Did the evil really die? Kind of thing, which it doesn't feel very like. It doesn't feel as effective as an actual people can and will die that is part of the main cast.
But to me, it feels like whenever they pull the whole, like, did evil really die? It's just like, oh, we're leaving this open for a sequel.
Yeah. It feels very much that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than
And-
that, it was, yeah.
okay.
I don't know, to me it becomes like a bore fest when you get the, like, opening for a sequel. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I thought Pray for the Devil was it was a well-made movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's well acted and it looks good and everything. But at the same time, I thought it was probably one of the most mediocre movies of the year. To be honest, because it doesn't try to do anything new whatsoever. It basically uses every trope and cliche that exists in the possession subgenre, and it felt like the movie played it really safe. It didn't really take any chances with basically anything, and
Yeah.
the third act, the reveal at the beginning of the third act felt really tacked on as well. It felt like the script writer just pulled something out of his ass to get an ending to the film. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just very generic and mediocre. I mean, if you've
Yeah.
seen a possession movie from the past 15 years, you have seen this one as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't have any great hurry to rewatch it, but yeah, like I said, it's all right.
I did like how the environment, like, it was supposed to be like modern times, and they really made it feel that way with the environment they were in, with it being an old ass building with very modern things like the sliding doors, the card access part and whatnot. It felt modern, but it didn't feel like, oh, this is like new modern, where like things that doesn't exist in the normal world. But you have eye scanners and whatnot to like access things that doesn't really happen in like everyday places, where like access cards, sliding doors and everything else that exists in our current society.
Yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't like smashing in your face, but it felt very good to see it, because I don't think necessarily that they usually do that in very many places.
Yeah, I mean they tried to like modernize the church, so to say.
Yeah, because I feel like you either have some place that doesn't have like usually things like that is like a hospital setting because it was, and or it will be like extremely like modernized beyond even this modern thing.
Yeah, I
feel
mean
like.
it kind of felt like this is something that can happen in the coming 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
not 50 years or 100.
Plus, I just liked it because it kind of reminded me of my workplace, which is a hospital that is an old ass building and in some places, but it still has its very modern parts, even in the old buildings. So it felt like that is kind of what sold me part of like the background experience, so to speak.
Yeah, the environments. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it didn't, as said, bring anything really new. But
No.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Had you seen anything else, Somi?
Haha, you wish.
Okay.
No, I have not. I need to be dragged out to like movies and whatnot to actually watch movies.
Okay. Pray for the Devil is the only thing I've catched since we last recorded. I've been busy with other stuff. So, Blue,
Gasp.
have you catched anything?
Not really. We've been watching memes on YouTube. We haven't had the energy to watch any movies as of late.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you get those types of periods sometimes. So.
Oh well, actually, I did watch a little bit. I watched like I want to say like almost the whole Scream 4 again.
Scream.
No, free.
Scream 3.
Yeah.
Did you?
I was so I was listening to someone talk about it on YouTube while I was walking my dog, and I was like, "Oh, I kind of want to rewatch this because she was shining such a light on like she loves it and this is why." And I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna give the movie a try again. Like I'm gonna give it a second chance because I didn't like it." But like rewatching it now with someone else's opinion, like shining on that, oh, this and this and this is so good. It's like, alright, I mean, I can see the potential in it being good, but.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
last time I rewatched the Scream movies, I actually preferred Scream 3 over Scream 2. And I've always liked 2 more than 3. So I don't know, switcheroo for those movies. I don't know. It felt like Scream 3 was more entertaining because Scream 2 has some singing number in it and a scene where they are dancing, and I can't stand shit like that in horror movies. So
I have a hard time in it in anything, to be honest.
not a fan. But what did you think of Scream 3?
Eh, it wasn't like wow, but it was pretty alright. Like I'll watch it on occasion, but it wasn't that big whoop-de-doo, basically.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I'm just rewatching Modern Family right now for the 5th time.
Okay.
Rewatching old and gold.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, I don't know if
shall-
I've talked about it, but I did watch season 1 of what was that called? No, not Slasher. Or was it Slasher? I need to double check.
there is a TV series called Slasher, yeah.
I need to double check which one it was I actually watched, because I am not certain if it was Scream or if it was Slasher, because I know one of them I watched, at least the first season. I'm halfway through second season, and I know that like I'm indifferent to it right now. Let me just double check this. It's like first season I was not a big fan of.
The first season in both the Scream TV series and the Slasher TV series are pretty dull. It gets better in the second season in both series.
Alright, so now I'm looking at it. It is Slasher. I've watched all of the first season. I'm on the second season. I've watched 2 episodes. The first season was atrocious. If it was too many jumps back and forth, it's just too much. Too much jumping, too many characters. It's like they could have done so much different with like you don't really need to give every fucking character the biggest backstory ever. And it's just like Second season I'm very indifferent to. I need to get back into watching it. But so far what I've seen,
the second season is really fucking good. The third season is really fucking good as well. I haven't seen the fourth season yet. But yeah, the first season of the Slasher is really fucking dull. I can't remember much about it. The killer is the guy in a hood, right?
He wears a... So you remember the home invasion movies, Purge? And that super annoying chick that wears like a mask with LED lights on. It's the same mask, but it's blue.
That's the third
Original.
season, I think.
Nope, first season.
What is the plot in the season you saw?
So the first season is they all live in an apartment building.
That's the third season. The first season was about a woman that gets back to a small town. The small town she was raised in, and a string of murders starts to happen with religious.
That's weird because that was the first season that I got.
Yeah, well, the killer with the LED light mask is the third season.
Yeah, whatever. I thought it sucked. And the season I'm on right now, I think it's boring, to be honest. It's just, I don't know.
Not sparking the joy.
Yeah, this is not speaking to me. It's basically all I've watched and done. I am not fucking interested in doodles. Just fuck off.
Are you sure?
No, it's disgusting. Dare I say a fucking abomination.
Then how about our Savior Jesus Christ?
Fuck off!
What? Okay, shall we roll the trailer, perhaps?
Yeah, sure.
Let's...
You can't seriously expect me to go to work on Thanksgiving. other paying customers come through the door, then you can all go after we tidy up.
Are you open?
There are no Thanksgiving songs because no one wants to write one about an outdated, hypocritical appropriation fest.
Thanksgiving turkey. Have you ever seen anything so beautiful?
It's Thanksgiving and the diner dairies are open for business. Unfortunately for the staff and the customers, a bloodthirsty and cannibalistic family has set their sights on the place. And they want everyone who is there as their Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so I'm gonna kick off this talking point because one, I don't have that much to say about the film, and two, I think you guys will agree with me for once.
Most likely.
Okay, so first off, I usually don't like to trash talk movies, especially low budget ones, since there probably was a lot of hard work put into it. And I personally know jack shit about movie making, so who am I to trash talk someone else's
hard work?
Yeah, exactly. But sitting through The Last Thanksgiving was not only a slog, but it was also a test of my fucking patience. The majority of the characters are assholes, especially one of the main characters. I think she's supposed to be the main character.
She's supposed to be, yes.
Yeah. I think so. Who even gets mad when her boyfriend calls her out about being a bitch. I mean, she's a really she's a really unlikable character. And most of them are in the film.
Yeah.
And all of the humor in the film is really unfunny. At least I didn't think it was
I'm
funny.
sorry, there was humor in this movie?
Yeah, there were...
Oh, God.
It was supposed to be humor, at least. You know, the bad puns and the characters calling each other names and, you know, really funny stuff.
Real rib ticklers.
Yeah, and it just made the movie even more irritating to watch. The movie is around 70 minutes, but it took me almost 3 hours to get through it because of how fucking bored I was. And I mean, I'm a slasher movie fan, and I usually can see something good in these type of low budget trash movies, but the last Thanksgiving was an endurance test for me, and it's up there with some of the worst films we've covered so far, without a doubt. I'm really sorry if the makers of the movie are listening to this, but man, I had a really rough time getting through this.
I get that.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, guys? Are you agreeing with me, or...
Oh my god, where to fucking start with this movie? I agree, like, there were so few characters that you actually, like, could tolerate. I could think of, like, 3 maybe, but that's because they mostly said jack shit in the movie to begin with.
The only character I think I liked was the old guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he was a straight up all okay dude.
Yeah.
And then you had like the the gay guy, he wasn't like a dick to anyone. And the guy he had a crush on, sure, he tried to say some crazy stuff to like make him uninterested, but he wasn't a dick about it. Most other characters were like so unlikable. It was like, how do you keep your job with that attitude of yours? How do you keep a boyfriend with that attitude and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, who in their right mind would want to spend time with these people?
Yeah, and like the second you try to be like, maybe not be a dick about everything, like they start boo-hoo, poor me.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo, woe is me.
Yeah, basically. You didn't root, not really, other than like the wheelchair guy. You didn't truly root for anyone to survive.
No.
And so many scenes like didn't make sense, like gore wise or like slasher wise. Like sure they want to make a gory scene, but like it doesn't make sense, so it takes me out of the scene.
For one, like, let's talk about the scene where the first kill occurs, where they're like, oh, we're gonna have this person for dinner, and then they light them on fire. That doesn't make sense if you're a cannibal and you want to consume someone. Like, they're ruining, quote-unquote, their meal. It's like burning a steak that
On
you're
purpose.
cooking. Yeah, it didn't make sense. Like, that's just gore factor that isn't even gore, it's just boring. I would have rather seen them like gut someone, or like how to say, like when a butcher makes like a cow into meat pieces and then sell it. Like, that's something I would have liked to see, rather than, oh, we're just gonna put this person on fire. And like the way they put the rope, it's so... Now, yeah, this is a B movie, it is, but it's like, you can even do that better. You can tie people up better even if it's a fucking B movie. It's not hard. It was just so stupid. And then it's just like, when we first start to see the big bad evil people, it's just like it's like someone pissed on the lens. It's like a piss fucking colored lens through the whole sequence, and it bothered the shit out of me.
I didn't pick up on that, but on the other hand, I was so disinterested in this film, so it might have been the reason why I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, no, to me it just like looked like they had pissed on the on the like lens itself, and then like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna use this to film. Like, no.
Yeah.
It annoyed the shit out of me, and it's like, nah.
And like, I get what they wanted to do with the like family, of like, they don't see any problem with this, but the way they did was so bad. Like, the characters were not convincing, even in like, oh yeah, it's a B movie, but the way they acted it out, it didn't feel like you could like make sense of it, because they were like so blatant, like, yeah, this is normal, everyone does this kind of like attitude towards it. They didn't do it in a sinister way, like, oh, this is normal for because that's our tradition. They were just like, why does no one like our traditions?
Yeah,
We are just
basically.
murdering people. Like, they didn't do it in like, we know this is bad kind of way, but we do it anyways kind of deal, and we
Yeah.
still don't see any problem with it and whatnot.
Did you
And like,
did you guys, by the way, pick up on the fact that they basically have ripped off the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got major Leatherface vibes.
Yeah. He even got the
I just felt
curly
like it was
hair as Leatherface has in the original
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
Thor's End, it felt very much like this is just a extremely bad version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
No, for real.
and as I previously said, even some of the gory parts were like some of the gory parts put me out of like the moment because of how little sense it made. Sure, gory parts can make little sense and still be like put you in the moment because of how gory they are. But the fact that he just grabbed her hair and just pulled out back her scalp like it was nothing.
That was
Like no
eh.
cutting, no anything, just ripped it. Like that's not how it works.
It really isn't.
You can just have him slash at her hairline and then just make it happen. To make it like, oh, that's why do. But no, just straight up it. No, nah. It made me like. That would have been so good if you just made it make sense.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just the twist they had where like, oh, we're all babies from this one old ass person.
Yeah, the pilgrim woman.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, this is an old ass tradition. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, and
It was
she's
an
being
unnecessary twist.
she being alive didn't make any fucking sense either. I mean, she must be
No.
over 300 years old or something, 400 years.
Give me a second.
They didn't even try to be like the. This is why we do it. The power of the cannibalistic thing makes her live forever or something. No, they just said, "Oh, she's not dead. She's just here popping out babies at like what, 202."
Alright, she would have been, let's see, she was like in her mid-20s, so like 25.
Yeah.
She would have been 423 years old and still making babies.
Fuck you.
Most women go through fucking menopause at 40! Fuck off!
Yeah, and some like go through that at like 50, but not can get pregnant past 100. Simply put,
Yeah, this doesn't make fucking sense. So,
like they didn't try to explain that plot twist whatsoever.
No. Like,
So
I'm gonna say, like, the idea is definitely like, oh, that they're cannibals because their great-great-grandma did this. Alright, I can accept that and, like, see it as, oh, yeah, no, it definitely makes a kind of decent horror movie trope, but
Yeah,
that's where it
Like-
ends.
like it could explain why they're so nonchalant about everything. It's good old simple like family brainwashing
Yeah.
kind of deal. But the fact that like no, it's not that they're just following their old grandma. Old fashioned grandma is still alive, popping out babies, so we're all her babies.
Yeah, like if they would have made it like, oh, so Grandma came on the Mayflower and she did this one thing, and now we also do it because it's family tradition. Yeah, okay, that could have actually made like a decent backstory, but the way they put it, it just doesn't make sense. Like it's not good.
Yeah, and just it felt like the ending was so underwhelming.
Yeah.
Even if the rest of the movie wasn't interesting, the ending was even less.
I can't
like,
even
entertaining.
remember the ending, to be honest. And I watched this movie 2 days ago.
Yeah, and it's just you had an inkling of what was gonna happen because of the trope of, oh, this guy got impaled in a non-necessarily in non-vital organs necessarily, where like
Yeah, it was like
They-
right
they-
below his knees.
but also the guy with the hole through his stomach.
Oh yeah, that guy.
A thing where like if left unattended long enough he will die, sure. But as how they have been so murderous throughout everything else, just leaving him lying there to die, it felt like, oh yeah, he's gonna come back. Oh yeah, 100%. He's not dead.
It felt very much like, why would they do that unless it's protagonist cover, basically. Like he got the cloak of, well, I'm a main protagonist and I have to outlive the movie, therefore I'm still alive.
Yeah.
It's honestly just fucking stupid.
And like the end where like, what are we gonna do with her? Let's oven her. Sure, it felt like Hansel and Gretel, like they put the witch in the oven, but it was still very underwhelming.
Oh yeah.
Like everything that happened was just, okay, it's over now.
Like, okay, that happened, I guess.
Because things happen so like separately that you shifted between so many things, but you did give them time to like happen, that it didn't feel like imminent with everything else, because usually they only show very few snippets in seconds. If things are going down, you just see someone running, you see someone else running, you see someone fighting, you see someone else doing anything else to like show like this is all happening at the same time, this is urgent. But you had the whole scene with her being like tied up and then put in the room, and then you get the guy that ran away
Yeah, it's... and
and then impaled in the knees, and then you go back to the dinner room again.
yeah, they could have cut it differently, definitely.
Yeah, and again with no characters being likable made the whole thing just an endurance test.
It was very painful watching it, yes.
Yeah. How are you supposed to enjoy a movie where everyone... Sure, some movies have like so many assholes where you like hope that they die because of how much of an asshole they are. But
You
It
couldn't
felt like-
even root for the killers in this movie because
No.
they
No,
were fucking
no, that's-
irritating as well.
yeah, that's the whole like point of like, if you're gonna have dislikable main characters, have likable villains
Yeah.
Yeah.
in order for it to work, because then you can root for someone. But you couldn't even give us that.
So something I just came to think about. Didn't the brother and sister have like a semi-incestual relationship? Like, to me it felt like they do fuck like behind closed doors. Like, they,
Yeah.
I don't know. Then again, their whole family is pretty fucked, so it wouldn't surprise me. It's just,
Yeah, I felt like those were like the Texas Chainsaw vibes coming in.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the influence for the incestual parts.
yeah.
But man, this was one hard movie to watch simply
It was.
because of how unlikable each and every character was, with so few actual either likable characters or simply forgettable characters because they weren't assholes.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna agree. Like, the only guy I was rooting for to survive was the man in the wheelchair, because he seemed like a sweet guy. It was like, everyone else was just so fucking annoying. And honestly, the main character, I just wanted her to die. Like, from the moment I saw her, I was like, please die.
I was so done with her the moment she like started to cry and walk away, calling her dad the second her boyfriend felt like, can you stop being an asshole about my future plans, my ideas? Why can't you like be supportive about this rather than just scrutinize my future plans?
Yeah.
And then she were like, he's such an asshole, poor me, by being called an asshole by being unsupportive of him. Despite having seen her being an asshole to absolute everyone, even customers, since the second we saw her.
One of
I was
the
so done by her.
one of the older women says something by the lines of, well, she says that she's a bitch, the main girl.
Yeah, the mother.
She says that she herself is a bitch. It's towards the end of the film, I think. And one of the older women at the diner says something about the lines that, don't say things like that, you're not a bitch, or something like that. And I'm like...
I don't remember that.
And I was just thinking to myself while I was watching the film, have you met her?
Yeah.
With her, you should know who she is.
Yeah. You fucking work with her.
Yeah, like she doesn't need false encouragement. But yeah, also the dinner ladies, they were also okay. Like they weren't really memorable, but they were like inoffensive. In that
they were pretty alright. Like you could definitely root for them to survive.
They were just vibing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my goodness, this was a pain to watch through.
So
Like, they had so many ideas to go for, but they grabbed none of them. To continue.
So, that's great to write down his thoughts on the movie. So, alright, premise is alright, but it was executed with dog shit efficiency.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's not
yeah.
wrong.
It tries to be a horror, drama, comedy, holiday movie, and yet it does not do any of those things successfully. Of course, they have Michael Myers ecstasy on deck. Lady, you have a car. Fucking use it.
Yeah.
That's something that pissed me off for the whole movie. Like, she had her fucking car, and she's like, "Woo, Dad, come pick me up." Like,
she
you
walked
have
everywhere.
Yeah, like you have your own fucking car.
Yeah, like she only drove to work and then simply didn't use it to go to the bar. Like, why do you walk there? Why not use your car? Sure, it would have been explained if she just had said a line like, "Oh, gas price is expensive. I have no money." Like, then why don't you work? Fuck off. Like, that would have been something I expected her to say. And which is why she doesn't run everywhere, or that she has a, like in many other horror movies, old ass car that barely works, like my brother's. That would also have made sense. And she only uses it to work and walk everywhere else because it's walk distance everywhere else, but the job. So the moment you get to the job, you can walk everywhere else. Kind of sense. Which is why she walks rather to save either money on the gas or to not run the car dead. That could have been so easy to explain. But they didn't. They just made her walk for no reason. It pains me.
Also, and so let's see here. Some of the would-be best moments fall flat due to how thick it lays on the points of the message or how long the speech draws out for the audience to ask what was this about. Bad acting, not English dollhouse horror level, but voice direction definitely could use some work on its line delivery. So, a while back, we watched a horror movie called Dollhouse, and the premise is basically that it's a haunted dollhouse.
Yeah.
And we refer back to that movie because it was absolutely fucking terrible. It's one of the worst movies I've ever watched. And yeah, that's the reference he does.
Yeah. Speaking of the like voices, the voiceovers were so bad at some points. Like they were supposed to be like away in the hallway, and you were like supposed to be in the end of the hallway camera wise. Yet their voices is right in your ear, like they were right next to the camera.
Yeah.
It just, oh, it was also a point that just pulled you out of the movie where like you could hear the voices so clear in moments you shouldn't at some points.
Oh, yeah. And the last line is, some jokes were never resolved. I'm a psychic. Really? Hell nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't bring much to the table today. But it's a bad movie, and I think we all can
No,
agree on that.
it's not a bad movie. It's a shitty movie. And when it comes from me, it says something. I mean, if the movie makers of this movie are listening to this, I'm really sorry, but you made a really terrible fucking film.
So,
Yeah.
the boyfriend talks about that he's gonna make a movie called Santa Claus's Concerts. Mars. He's not talking about making it. He's gonna show it. Santa Claus conquers the Martians. It sounds like a way better movie than this. Like that sounds like I would rather watch that movie than this movie. All right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
And even like the movie he talks about, like if he did, I don't remember, but I feel like he did. It sounds almost any other movie would have been better than watching this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Again,
I think I would
sorry
rather.
to the makers.
I think I would rather rewatch Leprechaun 4 than this shit again.
So something like I want to ask. So this is a low budget movie, and Thanksgiving is a low budget movie. Now, which one would you rather rewatch if you had to choose?
I would rather rewatch Thanksgiving 10 times than rewatch this once.
I don't remember Thanksgiving.
It's the killer
Oh!
turkey.
Oh, that one. Oh, I only watched the second one.
I only watched the sequel. Alright, the sequel or this one though.
You can just turn off your brain and watch Thanksgiving. Because it's weird and it's bad, but it at least doesn't come with any expectations of being good.
With a name like Thanksgiving, you don't expect anything good out of it. With a name like The Last Thanksgiving, you do expect it to be decent at least.
Yeah, like you can just put on Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving 2 and just lean back and like
No.
half watch
Thanksgiving 3 is the title of the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'ma just piss on them and say Thanksgiving 2.
Thanksgiving
'cause
2 is a lost film.
Yeah.
watch out, the killer turkey might come and take you out because you said that.
Yeah. Mayhaps.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I rather watch Thanksgiving than this one again. Like, nah, it's probably someone's like first project or a passion project, and honestly,
Or a first acting job or whatnot.
like all I have to say is you have a lot to work on, but yeah,
And again, as Blue's boyfriend already mentioned, it did have a lot of like solid ideas that they didn't deliver on whatsoever.
yeah.
But that's the thing. You started with a good idea. So if you just hone the movie making skills, you can maybe do something with that.
Yeah, definitely. If they if they tweak it a little bit and work around it and learn from this movie and like learn from the critique you get, you can definitely improve and become, well, not the next Steven Spielberg, but better than this.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think I have much more to say about it.
No, I think we said enough about this pile of shit.
This was just a shit fest, to be honest.
So,
But that happens sometimes.
yeah. What will your ratings be? I'm pretty sure I already know, but...
Well, mine will be a 1. At the very least.
Well, I can't give it a 0, so I have to give it a 1.
Yeah, because I don't want to watch this again.
No.
I'm not gonna watch this again.
I'm good, thanks.
I will rate it a 2. And the only reason I give it that is because of the line, "Lick my clit, you psychotic cunt." which which actually made me laugh. But
Fair. That was a good line delivery.
yeah. But besides that, I mean, if that line hadn't been in the film, I would have given it a 1 as well. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of shit from my days, so
I think this is one of the first movies where we have all agreed that it's absolute garbage.
I think we agreed on Thanksgiving 3 as well.
I think we also kind of agreed on Leprechaun. I think the casino one, or the one before that. I think the one before that, or the casino one, we also agree. I don't think Blue was in that one, but I think Josef and Augie and I all agreed that it was a bad movie.
We agreed on part 4 at least. I remember that. All three of Augie said that he thought that the whole movie was just a big joke.
Which one was that?
Part 4 is in space.
I haven't watched that one, I think.
Oh, it's hot
Yeah,
garbage.
yeah.
It is hot garbage.
Yes, you have. You were on that episode.
don't
He's so
remember.
deep in denial.
Like the last one I remember was the casino one.
That's
I think was
that's
the
part
third.
3, but you were on the in space episode. You have seen it, zombie.
Well, I must have deeply, deeply repressed it.
Yeah,
So
I
lit-
understand why.
Let the poor man be in denial.
Yeah, well, you don't have to rewatch it. It's shit. So okay.
Thank God.
Moving on to background. I really didn't take much time to dig up anything, but I found a couple of things here. The cast and crew were mainly undergrad students of the University of Miami and Miami locals. Exteriors and a short film were filmed in November of 2017 in Chattanooga in Tennessee before principal photography began. And that took place on weekends from March to May in 2018 in Miramar, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, at Derry's Family Restaurant and Miami in Florida. The film premiered online during the COVID-19 pandemic at the Pasadena Horror Film Festival, American Horror Film Festival, and Salem Horror Fest. and Scream team released the film on Blu-ray and VHS in November of 2020. Also, the last thing here, Linnea Quigley appeared in a small role as Paulette, the customer with the big hat.
Oh, yeah.
And she's both a horror icon and a scream queen. She has I picked out a couple of movies she's been in. Tourist Trap, Graduation Day, Fatal Games, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Return of the Living Dead, Creepozoids.
Oh.
Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bowlorama, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, Night of the Demons, Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings, and Yakko.
She's been in a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
No wonder she was the best actor.
But yeah, she's been in tons of stuff. She's usually the girl who shows her boobs in
Yes.
70s and 80s horror movies.
If only she did this today.
No, thank you.
But Joseph, we all know you're into the granny scene. Granny's gone wild,
No, not really. Linnea Quigley is the woman who did the very well-known full frontal nudity scene in Return of the Living Dead. In the graveyard, she's dancing on a gravestone.
Oh, yeah.
But as naked. Great movie, by the way. But yeah, that's everything I had for this movie. I mean, I didn't want to spend any more time than I had to with it, so.
Fair.
But yes,
yeah.
I think that's everything. We are playing out with As the Structure Fails, On the Edge. And if you check that song up on YouTube, you probably will find a music video. And they hashtagged the music video with Turkey Core. I don't know what that is, but it's basically death metal. And the music video is really weird. Yeah, it's something. But yeah, what's the next episode?
So, Joseph, you're gonna love me for this. It's a classic.
Oh
no.
It's called Death Forest.
Oh no.
Y'all thought this was shit.
Oh no.
I am currently not a big fan of you. I have not watched it ever, but based on the reactions of everyone, I'm not a big fan of you right now.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen stills from it, and I've seen the trailer.
I've seen, so this is a bit of a spoiler for the next episode. I've seen gameplay of the game that this movie is based off. Right, what's the other way around? Give me a second.
Well, I can guess what it's based on, considering it's an Asian movie, but watching pictures of it, it is making me deeply uncomfortable. In a horror way, it's making me deeply uncomfortable.
I'll look it up for the next time, but I do think this movie is based off the game, not the other way around, but I might be wrong. Anyways.
You're correct about that.
Is the game then based on the Suicide Forest?
I do not know, but I can look it up to backgrounds. But it does definitely sound like it would be based on the Death Forest in Japan. And for those who doesn't know what the Death Forest is, it is a forest where people go to end their lives Well,
It-
if you haven't seen Logan Paul's video where he made a fucking joke out of himself.
Yeah, it is. It is traditionally known as a forest where people go there to. Yeah.
Anyways,
There's a short documentary out, I think it's up on YouTube as well, about the suicide forest in Japan. If anyone is
Yeah.
interested in watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
So, anyway.
it then.
yep, that's it.
Alright, time to say goodbye to the good folks.
Yes. Goodbye, good people. Thanks for watching our rant.
Goodbye, good people. Remember, you can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook under Near Dark Podcast. Goodbye, good folks.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
This needs to be the end. 'Cause I'm standing on the edge. Visible on the forefront. You won't deny your twisted lies. We've been here before. The same cause expecting different life. This needs to be the end. 'Cause I'm standing on the edge. My team is falling under.